We're on YouTube. The YouTubes. It did actually successfully show my thumbnail this time, which is good. I've had trouble with it showing that in the past, so. All right, should be for everybody. Uh-oh, looks like I have to update Kick. Kick still shows that I do really old content, apparently. That is incorrect. So, I'll have to get that fixed, but that's okay. Anyway. Right, here we go. More Asylum. So we are on 12 a.m. to 1 a.m. now, that hour. We dropped the key in the grate where the water was, the morgue. We've got 2 of 3 valves turned. No, sorry, 3 of 4. One was in the sewers already, but 3 of 4 valves turned for the water. Or sorry, for the sewage door or sewer door to open up. What else do we have? Let's see. Tasks. So remembering my past is all. This whole thing is accomplishing that task, right? Yeah. So 3 of 4. 3 of 4 on that. We need the music box. We also need the key. Yeah. Where? So it went down water. Where's water gonna be? It's almost like the same. Almost. It's not, but it's kind of the same type of problem as the valves. Where's water go? Guess we try the usual suspects or whatever, the usual places. So there's probably not in there, but there's the bathroom here, right? I'm not going in there. It's not over there. Oh, I can look down here now? Okay, what is this? Oh, there's the key. But I can't get to it, huh? I don't have a wrench icon. So you gotta... Well, these turn now. Well, they make it kind of easy by giving you the whole stuff with the water, though. Okay. So the key has moved, I guess? It's no longer in that area. I don't know how this still shows up. I have a bot to delete this crap. I don't know how this keeps showing up. Really getting aggravating, though. Getting so upset by stupid spammers always coming in my chat. I get a bot to try to get rid of it, to moderate it for me. It does it for like 2 weeks and then it stops. I don't know where it went further, though. Where the key would have further gone. I don't... Hang on, this is bugging me enough. Hang on. Okay, let me see here. Hang on. Um... Goes to this. Okay. Got that taken care of. It's not going to take care of all of them, but it'll take care of for some. Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, so if it flowed through the drain and out that way, just another bathroom. So you come down the drains here. See good long since outlet is usefulness. No. There's no water. Oh, it's right there. How'd it come? Oh, it flowed out of here probably. Yeah, it's dripping now. I see. Okay. Let's grab that. Finally, key for the music box is back in my possession. Okay, so we got the key. The music box, it wasn't in Bruno's office anymore. He gave it to that one patient to calm him down, huh? I think so, actually. Right? He said something in his journal. Let's read his journal again and see. I mean, that's, of course, if Bruno's not missing. Whoops, we don't like here. We're not going down, down, down. Well, I guess we could. Actually, that works. That goes to Bruno's office. He says something in his journal about the music box. Show. I thought there was a second one over there. Okay, anyway. It's fine. No big deal. It's fine. Okay. Let's go through here, back to Bruno's office. Yeah. There's nobody in these cells. Fortunately, keep the violent patients to a minimum, I think. That's the guy. Yeah. Alright, hang on. What did he... Let me double check what he said. He said something about the music box in his latest note before the entry where he says he goes off to investigate something. I think it was... Let's see. Okay. Okay, so flipping Mozart here next to me somehow broke out of his cell and ran upstairs. Spent a fair time trashing the cafeteria. However, this random guy, yeah, that's how bizarre this place is, helped me to calm him down. Whatever, I'll take at least I can get some rest before the next rounds. Ugh, the pounding is more than I could take. Now, feels like it's my own head hitting that door. Screw it, I'll give him the music box. Again, yeah. Yeah, so we gave the guy the music box. This one. How am I gonna get... Oh, use something? Oh, you know what? I have... Sedative, right? Back through. One more keys. Yeah. Hires patient was sedated, so I gathered strength to carefully trespass into his realm. That scratch absolutely breathtaking. So much history in here. There. Let's grab that. Finally, just need the music box for my vision in Bertram's cell. Okay. Can I get out of here without him attacking me? Oh, and I can't lock it? Maybe it locks automatically. I mean, he's sedated for now, but we don't want him getting out, right? Yeah. Okay, we want now to go up to Bertrand, right? And he was in the vision. It was on the floor, right? He was drawing with crayon. So I want to... Was it 105? Was that the one? 110A. Yeah, wait. Maybe he was 110. Wait, I don't remember. And what is this? 114? That's that one. Okay, so not that one. Want to keep looking. Okay, so he's in this next. Yeah, I think it's 105. I think it's what it's supposed to be. What? Why? Why can I not? Oh, I'm too low, I guess. He was on the right side. Was it 102? 102, not 105. Okay, my bad. Let me give him a crayon. No. No. Crayon. Nope. Then that. There. That. And there. And whereas I don't remember his name, the other guy where we got the key, whereas he hated the music, Bertrand actually gets him to draw it. That's what the nurse had a problem with, was that. Hey, Monmouth, welcome. Been a while. Hope you've had a great month, or whatever it was about that I last saw you. Hope things are going well for you. Not quite, but it's good. I like it. It's interesting. It has, obviously, yeah, better graphics for sure. Yeah. It has a similar storyline in the sense that you have a lot of things. Well, I mean, it's basically like any point and click. Like a lot of times you'll go somewhere, get something, and then you need it way over here, and then you have to go way over there, kind of thing. So any kind of point and click where you move around a lot. So not point and clicks where it's not, well, yeah, I guess it's sort of more like point and clicks like the whole gosh, why can't I think of it? The Forsaken Souls and stuff, point and click we have. In that way, it's similar where you'll find stuff over one place, you have to travel and then go over to another place and stuff. But it also has kind of the Darkness Within 2 type of style where you can move your mouse and look at different directions, but you still need to click to point to go to places. Yeah. Bertrand had drawn a strange pattern on the floor. I feel like I'd seen it before, and while it was a sample drawing, it overwhelmed me with a sense of dread and despair. Okay, so let me well, have you played this or you haven't at all? I don't want to tell you stuff you already know, but I also don't want to leave you in the dark, so you're just kind of picking up pieces. I'll give you a quick summary if that's something that would be useful potentially. Rust had adhered to the switch, rendering it unusable. Combined with the pitch dark of the night, the protected window made the small cell feel even more oppressive. Yeah, so the basic idea is that you had been a patient here years ago in something called Group E like Echo or Edward or whatever, right? And you had been patient, like, or your patient group had over you had been a Dr. Ebersbacher. And she was very business oriented, like she wanted to help the patients, but it was for the sake of making of validating her methods and trying to improve her methods. She cared less about the patients themselves and more about the method working or not, being successful or not with patients. But she was still understanding enough that she had limits. So there was another doctor, Hawthorne, I think, has an office next to hers. Neither of the doctors are here anymore at the asylum, of course. It was abandoned and then it's been started to get reconstructed. But both of the doctors had, in the past, their offices next to each other. And Hawthorne would also participate in the groups. He was much more, though, he was a little sadistic. Like, he would do things like, in extreme cases, Abersbacher was like, if we have to, we can use electroshock therapy, but only if we really have to. Hawthorne was kind of like, when do we get to use the electroshock therapy next? Almost. He was really bad. The layout of the asylum is kind of important. It's sort of like this with a hallway between. Well, it's like this. So you have over on this side, you have female patients. Over on this side, you have the male patients. In the middle, you have, a hallway that goes to things like cafeteria and laundry and so on. And then you have a couple of doctor's offices down here. And then if you go upstairs, there are more doctor's offices. And again, same layout. You have some things here, like the morgue and so on. And then down here, you have patients, again, divided into wings. And a third floor is the same way. That's an old style of layout with the with the asylum kind of starting to fall behind. Yeah, they were segregated. Well, with the asylum starting to fall behind in terms of advances in what they understand and what they think will be effective for the patients and the doctors and everything, they were going to, they started reconstructing. They were going to redesign it to a more modular thing. So you'd have like patients would be over here, patients would be over here, but they would not be connected by a hall, is the idea. And then you would have a building where they would do therapy here, also not connected to the other two buildings, not directly. It would keep things isolated so that violent patients would be kept away from other patients and so on. And also so that the staff, whether it was the orderlies or the psychiatrists or whatever, would be kept separate from the patients, so there wasn't this temptation for the patients to constantly pester the psychiatrists or the psychiatrists to spend too much time with the patients, so maybe it affected how the patients behaved or something. There are a bunch of different reasons. Anyway, so they're going to a new modular design so things would be separated. Generally, apparently, in order to convert designs, they would dig tunnels from one to another so that they could move equipment over to where the new separated building was going to be and stuff. So the overall goal in the game is you the protagonist, you're a former patient, so you're not a private investigator, although you are doing your own investigation. But you're a former patient. You've recently started having dreams or memories resurface, and you're going back trying to figure out what's going on. Yeah. And so my point in talking about the tunnels is, apparently some of the patients in the past started getting scared from digging the tunnels. They used the patients to dig the tunnels, certain of them. And they started getting scared. The tunnels started freaking them out. People started reporting that they heard voices and whatever down in the tunnels. So there's something in the tunnels that we're trying to figure out. Basically, why are we having visions or memories resurface, and what did we do during our time here? Because we're not really remembering clearly. And now that we've gotten here, what the frick is going on with the tunnels? Because we had a vision or a memory of ourselves being involved with some other patients digging tunnels, and so we were part of the digging as well. So we're trying to figure out all of this stuff, like what happened to us, and why are the tunnels? Why is there something wrong in the tunnels? Why were we involved with the tunnels? All that stuff. Okay. And I'm trying not to get too much into the weeds. So there are a bunch of different things, and I can tell you about each patient as you go along. This patient here, though, is Bertrand. Bertrand, if you give him a crayon, when you play the music box, he'll draw on the ground. Well, when he drew on the ground, he drew this symbol, and so we're trying to figure out what's going on with the symbol. We had this whole thing where we were trying to find the key to the music box and stuff. That's not important for catching up. But just so you know, that's kind of where we are. Is Lenny? There's a patient named Lenny, who is he's very calm. Even though he's a patient, he's very calm and stuff. So the staff let him out of his cell, and so he's trying to clean, as they're reconstructing stuff. He's trying to clean up areas around where they're doing reconstruction stuff. We've talked to him a few times. He was also in our therapy group in the past, so he's also involved with the tunnels. He doesn't want to talk about the tunnels. He's scared about them too. He's like, no, I don't want to talk about them. So yeah. So Lenny has some secrets we haven't fully discovered. We have some secrets that have not resurfaced yet. We found out some patients have gone kind of a little bit like over the edge and have died, whether it was self-inflicted or otherwise. And yeah, and it's a mess right now. And they have some patients here, because even though they're in the process of reconstructing, they are still, so that they can, still be operating and so still get money and stuff. Because if they're not operating at all, people are like, well, why, if you're not doing anything? So they have some patients here so they can still get funding and stuff. So that's why we have people like Bertrand and Lenny and some others still here. Yeah. So some children's books, it seems, were scattered under the bed. Okay. So now that he's drawn this on the ground, I think we want to talk to him probably. Bertrand returned to his eternal trance like nothing ever happened. So now if I go back here and I do this, can I do this again? No. So we had a microphone briefly earlier, but I guess we're not doing that. So let's see. So we got the symbol. So, okay, so what are we trying to do now? So I got this. Look at the drawing. Topics. Bertrand's symbol. That didn't deserve my attention. The symbol didn't? Oh, okay. Rumors. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Fresh flowers therapy. That'll totally fix everything, especially if there's something down in the tunnels that's scaring patients. I'm sure fresh flowers will take care of it. It'll totally change the fact that they heard voices and stuff going on in the background. That's right. Yeah, so anyway, I hope you don't mind too much, but I just want to make sure you kind of generally caught up to where we are so you can continue. Things open up as you do more stuff. Oh, and this happens too, like 1 a.m. here. So as we progress, do certain things, we'll progress an hour in the game automatically. Psst. Achievement unlocked. Oh, that's Lenny. That's Lenny. The one who's calmer.
Lenny, what are you doing here?
Who's cleaning?
I was cleaning the showers, and I heard something. What were you doing inside that cell?
I saw something very strange. I can't explain it yet. However, a picture is beginning to form in my head, but there's still a lot I don't understand.
Maybe I can help you.
You can? Please tell me how, Lenny. I'm growing more and more desperate by the minute.
I have a key. I took it a long time ago, before they released us from the Institute, around the time of the event.
A key for what?
Can I trust you?
Of course you can, Lenny. And I trust you as well.
All right. This is the key to Dr. Hawthorne's office. He
Hawthorne?
knew things.
Uh-oh.
There was chaos all around, and nobody saw me when I took the key and locked his office.
Dr. Hawthorne? Of course. Ebis Baker mentioned him in one of her recordings. He was quite close to the head director, right?
Yes. He kept secrets inside his office. You should look inside.
Thanks, Lenny. This is hugely helpful indeed.
Oh, one more thing. I was never able to enter the head director's office. None of the keys I took while cleaning worked. I think Hawthorne kept that key with him.
So Hawthorne's office may lead me to Hanwell's office? Interesting. Well, here we go.
Here's the key. And good luck.
Thanks, Lenny. You're a pal. Okay, I don't know. I feel like, and that's fine, but I feel like the voice actors in this, at least some of them, if not all of them, but it feels like the voice actors, English is not their native language, and they speak it secondarily. And I don't mean that as like, you know, ragging on them or anything, but some of the pronunciations, Hawthorne, that's Hawthorne in any version of English. If you're doing British English, it'd be Hawthorne, right? But still haw, not ho. Hawthorne. Who says Hawthorne? Do you say it that way in Australia? Or do Kiwis say it that way maybe or something? I've never heard that pronounced that way. Hawthorne or Hawthorne. Haw. Yes, it's Hawthorne's office. Hawthorne. I don't know. Just sounded weird the way they said it. Plus, even if it was British pronunciation, the rest of their pronunciation is much closer to American, so it's a little weird to me. Anyway, it doesn't matter all that much, but it is strange to me. Hawthorne? Is that how you'd say it? Hawthorne? Why with the R though? There aren't the two vowels next to each other that do that, that cause that a lot in certain dialects in English, right? Like, for example, if you say, if you were going to say a cantata is, like cantata, the music term cantata or something, or let's say frittata, which is like the fried pastry. A frittata is, right? You'd say a frittata is, right? You'd have an R in between. Frittata is, frittater is. That happens in some dialects in English, right? Like British English, a lot of, I don't know about every dialect of British English, but a lot of them. And in Australian English, I think it happens sometimes, right? Anyway, we do that in American English. The area, the accent around the area of Boston, Massachusetts, the Boston accent, that also does that. They'd all say like, hey, a frittata is, they'd say it that way too, a frittata is a pastry. You fry it, eh? Anyway. Yeah. Yeah. AI can be interesting. I feel like a lot of times AI doesn't get enough QC though, enough quality control. Like I can tell all the time on YouTube if an ad shows up, I can all the time tell if it's like an AI generated person talking or something. One ad I thought did a good job with the physical appearance of the characters to make it so you didn't think it was AI. But then one of the characters said, how did the characters say it? Thanks to Lenny, I had access to Hawthorne's office. They said, oh yeah. So okay, hang on, let me read this. As if to foreshadow hideous revelations awaiting inside, the first drops of rain began to fall when I trespassed into Dr. Hawthorne's office. Seemed like no one else had been here in a long, long time. The AI started with how long it takes. Not how long does it take. How long it takes. But it looked like an American girl talking. Okay, clearly that's AI. Even if it was an actress reading lines, the actress would say, actually, in English, we would say, how long does it take? Nobody would ever say how long it takes. It doesn't sound natural. Right. So, anyway. The voices are unbelievably accurate. Someone will use it and create super worlds. You have spent 20 times last year as much as the moon mission? Or 17? Wow. Huh. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have a problem with AI per se, but if you're going to do it, have some quality control on it, man. Sometimes it's just like nobody checked. It'd be like having proofreading Like you might have Google Translate or something translate stuff across for you, but if you don't have somebody like a native speaker or something proofread it, sometimes it sounds just off. You're like, I mean, I know what you're saying. It doesn't sound the way we would say it, but I know what you're saying, I guess. Anyway, yeah. Well, I don't know. With as much as people tend to be at each other's throats these days, I'm not even sure if we're going to get to an full AI world. I feel like we're just going to fall apart. Although we could fall apart while AI is taking over. I suppose that's a scenario. Hallucinations, yeah. Okay, so this, I guess, is historical. This looks more like historical normal medicine, though. Like bleeding somebody to get out the black ichor, the evil ichor, right? Medieval or early Enlightenment stuff or something. This doesn't look to me like psychiatry. Interesting that it's here, though. And, that's obviously messed up what they did, but... Alright, Hanwell Mental Institution. 4. Confrontation in the psychiatric. No record of the venerable Hanwell Mental Institute would be complete without an account of Dr. Ellis Hawthorne, companion, trusted associate, and loyal confidant of Walter Hanwell. Hanwell is the... So Hanwell, his not going really into depth, Hanwell's background was he was a surgeon, like a brain surgeon or something like that, and so super rich from doing that for like a couple of decades. And then he got fascinated by, the more he studied about the mind itself, not the physical, although he understood that, of course, being a brain surgeon, but the actual inner workings and the way people's thoughts go. And so he decided to set up this whole mental institute with obviously partners to help fund it and stuff. So Hanwell is the head was the head doctor here, or the head administrator, who hired a bunch of psychiatrists and psychologists and stuff. And so that's also why it's called the Hanwell Mental Institute. And so Hawthorne apparently was close to this Hawthorne guy. The guy who was sadistic and liked electroshock therapy a little too much. Dr. Hawthorne's abrupt addition to the staff at the esteemed mental hospital was not without its share of controversy. He was an inscrutable character who, to the astonishment of many, quickly joined the highest ranks of the personal list, skipping over roles held by established, and arguably more qualified, colleagues in the process. Yeah, like Ebesbacher. People have been, also characters in this have been saying Ebesbacher, but she speaks with a little bit of a German accent, so it's more appropriate to say the name in the German way. So it'd be more, and your wife would know obviously better than I would, but something along the lines of Ebesbacher. Dr. Hawthorne's accomplishment in the field of mental health are, for a noteworthy physician, meager at best. He rose to a certain level of public regard thanks to his imposing personality and stern countenance rather than distinct achievements, as he had a formidable presence that allowed him to immediately command the attention of everyone in the room simply by entering it. His signature neat black suit paired with his cold, guileful gaze inspired equal measures of respect and fear in his peers. Rumors among those who were acquainted with the Institute's founder insinuate that Walter Hanwell's seemingly friendly, almost fatherly demeanor worked against him when it came to achieving his own ardent goals. It is speculated that this is the reason he chose to partner with Dr. Hawthorne, who soon proved to have more manipulative, ruthless ways of managing Hanwell Mental Institute. Over time, the grisly details of Dr. Hawthorne's practices began to surface. Many colleagues were horrified, others who knew him well, less so. Testimonies hold that Hawthorne often engaged in heated quarrels with other staff members of the Institute. Nurses who chose to remain anonymous claimed that medical instruments previously thought to be lost would appear scattered around his office. While it's not unusual for a physician to work with dangerous tools such as scissors and scalpels, it is far from common to find them mishandled in an unsterilized environment. Nonetheless, this particular form of misconduct in Dr. Hawthorne's career could not be confirmed and was dismissed as malicious gossip from disgruntled employees. Dubious stories of patients secretly taken to his office late at night have not been verified either. Yeah, the guy was kind of a scumbag, actually. Fireplace was in fairly good shape, but considering the thick layer of dust, it had been years since fire had burned it. Yeah, so the mention of Dr. Hawthorne using electroshock therapy was specifically from notes in Dr. Abisbacher's office. So it's not like rumor and foul gossip. She herself said she witnessed it and was disgusted by it. So, just so you know, this is fact, first-hand witness account. Now, obviously people think they see something sometimes and they actually have hallucination, but point is, she, stated it as if it were a fact, so it's not just a rumor, but actually what happened. Can't get anything else from here, looks like. So, let's go this side first. Probably the same as before, I imagine. Let me click it again, just to make sure. An antique sofa which conferred a sense of importance, matching the sober decoration in the room. Dr. Ellis Hawthorne, psychiatrist. One thing was certain. He had an impressive career in his field. I mean, yeah, although if you believe what was written about Hanwell Institute, maybe undeservedly so, maybe it wasn't actually all that impressive. Rising through the ranks because you ignore certain standards or rules is not exactly impressive. The ocean still loomed outside, its hypnotic ebb and flow presaging further horrors that no doubt awaited me. Books on medicine and, unsurprisingly, psychiatry. Oh, pile of paper soaked in humidity and quite unremarkable. Okay. Let's just see. So there's this, and then obviously this. We'll do this, and then this, and then I think that's it for the bookshelf. Okay, so this is Hawthorne talking about Abisbacher, Anne Abisbacher. Yeah, see, here's the name even. That last paragraph, maybe 5 lines up from the bottom, that's how you spell it, Abisbacher. Okay, I'm afraid my colleague Anne, so Dr. Abisbacher, has elected to take an inferior direction in her career. I try to be open-minded while considering new ideas. My goodwill doesn't extend so far as to resorting to shortcuts when it comes to the advancement of healing arts. As much as I can fathom the notion of an integral approach, contemplating the impact of emotions on our behavior, biology is definite. Our physical body reacts to physical impulses. We can spend ages assessing the mind's response to kind words, but ultimately it's the configuration of our phenotypes that matters. One cannot possibly identify a subcortical disorder by means of a conversation. The direct stimulus of cells will always secure the path to success when dealing with an obvious alteration to the brain. Thus his idea about electroshock therapy, I guess. Yet Abisbacher insists on her holistic approach, which inevitably devolves into a waste of time. Our society is crumbling. Swift action is necessary. And in the case of this establishment, we're also spending valuable resources, which are dwindling every day on her theories. Since I was hired at Hanwell Mental Institute, I've had the good fortune to work with various unique patients, investing a great deal of time in learning about their issues. Many of these are behavioral complications, deeply rooted in their minds, without a clear solution. Miserable subjects exhibiting a debased attitude cannot possibly fit in the world of civilized men. I find value in dedicating efforts to those without real hope, Patients unable to produce a single neurotransmission that results in a meaningful stream of thought productive to society. But pony misfits who merely demand attention? The paranoid, the lonely, who mistakenly confuse the cacophony of modern life, assaulting our senses each day, with actual mental problems? Eberspacher can fritter her hours away as much as she wants. My issue is the money involved. In the end, our existence is a biological accident. It's the glorious expression of our genetic material that confers meaning to our lives. And the only tried and proven way to deal with the ailments of our bodies is via the practice of standard medicine. Thus, shattered brain can only be fixed by physical means. I mean, agree to disagree, I guess, but it does sound, it's necessary, just making sure, I wasn't sure clicking the stop thing. It does sound like, in his own way, he was looking for solutions to people's problems, but I still question his methods. It was a selection of books on philosophy. Dr. Hawthorne seemed to have many erudite interests. I mean, it's unsurprising. He's apparently an intellectual, right? He's a psychiatrist. Okay, what is this? Oh, zoomed in. Oh, another. We have a projector. We've played other reels of film. Let's do that one. A key? Flenny was right. This was the key to the director's office, which was now in my power. Okay. Don't see anything else to grab. Okay, grab icon there. Is that this whole thing? Maybe. Papers? Let's read these first. Wary as I am about recording such notes on paper, Walter insisted. Walter is Hanwell, so the head of the institute. This guy's friend also, apparently. So, wary as I am about recording such notes on paper, Walter insisted that we thoroughly document these experiments for the benefit of our research. It's true that the process of writing in a journal allows one to more efficiently collect thoughts and ideas, make sense of them. However, I'll have to strengthen security measures to begin with. I've asked the janitorial staff to refrain from cleaning my office. At first, we tried straightforward questions. What did they see? Could they hear any sounds? How large is the chamber? Yet, they seemed to have no recollection of the encounter. Next, we followed with a set of more specific inquiries. What is the being inhabiting that chamber? Does it look like an animal? Can you describe its shape? Did it move? Nothing worked. Their minds are completely blank, as if that moment was erased from their memories. However, there's no question that whatever happens inside that chamber provokes a severe reaction in them. The procedure is rudimentary, to say the least, but effective. We tie a rope around each patient's waist and push them inside, resisting the temptation to gaze beyond the threshold with all our might. Hard to tell from our vantage point next to the doorway what transpires in the interior, but we don't sense any movement. Apparently the patients remain still, or are paralyzed even. After a few minutes, we firmly pull the rope and haul them out. Bruises are inevitable as they hit the ground, but there's no better way of doing this. They don't react to any stimulation while in that chamber. Walter then uses the device to lock that strange door. He's far more knowledgeable than me on such esoteric matters. We believe what the patients experience is unbearable fear. Our initial guess that they were becoming paralyzed was correct after all. It's like they shut down in the presence of that blasphemous form before them. Human brain is such a marvelous organ. Even their deeply damaged minds react to protect them when they're in danger. As we drag them out of that ancient room, we can discern an expression of absolute dread on their faces. Insane or not, human emotions are still the same. Yet they return to their old selves shortly afterward, as we drive them back upstairs. I now understand what we must do. The goal is to instill fear. Their minds are clearly processing the visual information. The theory is that if we are able to reproduce the conditions of the encounter, we should be able to recover details about it. Even if one patient is unable to describe it at all, we could piece together a more accurate picture from multiple recollections. Our current approach is Savage. We subject them to extreme situations in hopes of prompting a reaction. I'm not proud of blatantly beating somebody like some goon, but the promise of the knowledge and purpose concealed in that chamber is too powerful. It supersedes my dignity. Yeah, because your dignity is what's important, not the patient's welfare. Okay, bro. Anyway, however, these methods aren't working. They react to pain. They cry and scream. But they don't do anything else. But they don't do anything else. It's not true fear. We're not replicating the conditions well enough. This afternoon, I spoke with Abelsbacher about the regression she's observing in Group E. Of course, so our group, our characters group, as we're here in the asylum. Of course, I had to play the fool, but her incessant babbling formed an idea in my mind. For instance, H has pyrophobia. The mere thought of fire, or talking about it, makes him tremble in fear. Abelsbacher recalled an instance during one of her therapy sessions in which a patient casually said something random about firefighters, and H instantly became agitated, tears rolling down his face. I'm trying to remember who H is. That could be us. I don't know. Anyway, following this revelation, I took him to the boiler room. The incandescent red glow from the incinerators, shadows flickering on the walls, and the intense heat emanating from every corner in the room caused a wild reaction in him. I proceeded to question him about the encounter. Finally, an actual detail emerged. He simply said, "Big." But it's not enough. More stimulation is required. Further efforts have involved more extreme measures. Simply placing the gas burner in front of him provoked a state of shock, not unlike what we surmise occurs within the walls of that room. Poor soul, H can't grasp that an industrial incinerator is far more dangerous than a small laboratory burner. But who am I to judge his emotions? However, that state of fear wouldn't allow me to press on. He didn't respond to any of my inquiries, just kept staring silently at the flame. So I moved the burner closer to his chest. Leveraging their fears is indeed the key. We managed to obtain much more information from these new sessions than from all our previous efforts. Picture is beginning to form. JC, afraid of dark. LH, brittle bones. RB, sexual act. BL, degradation. Okay, let me think. So LH is probably Lenny. BL is probably, I don't remember his name, but he was the former cellmate. So that guy that drew with the crayon that when you got on the stream, the guy that drawn with crayon, his former cellmate his name started with B. I don't remember the name though. Denigration. He fears that. So something that had happened in one of the visions that our character had was we saw. Oh no, BL is Bertrand. That is the guy that drew the stuff in crayon. So he doesn't like denigrate. Anyway, R is like Robin or something like that. She was a pregnant woman who had been violently SA'd before getting admitted to the institute. SA'd as in S-A, so you understand where I'm going with that. So she had been SA'd before coming in, and she was pregnant while she was at the institute. So obviously saying sexual act makes sense that she would fear that. She obviously has heavy trauma tied directly to that. I don't remember who JC is, though. JC might be Bertrand's roommate. That might have been JC. I don't remember his first name now. Well, we can get out of this and we'll see. But yeah, so Bertrand, Crayon Guy, Denigration, Robin or whatever her actual name is, the woman, pregnant woman, fears sexual acts. Leonard fears brittle bones, maybe? Basically, he's frail, and so he's worried that whenever something could harm him. And then JC, I think, is Bertrand's roommate. Anyway. Okay, so let me whoop, no. I don't know why the chat just cleared. So that's random, I guess. It's unexpected. Hang on, okay, so you do this. I think it might have been Crawford. I'm not totally sure, but I think it might have been Crawford. JC. Right, it was JC. Yeah. JC. So I think that, yeah, I think that's Bertrand's cellmate is who that was. Okay. And then we have this.
This is the next subject.
Is the recording device turned on?
Yes, we may proceed.
Keep it quiet.
Leave it to me. Hello, Leonard. Do you remember me? I'm Dr. Hawthorne.
What do you want?
Well, you may not remember this, but yesterday you went inside a place, a big room. We need to know what happened in there. What did you see?
I don't remember.
You need to make a big effort to remember, Lenny, or unpleasant things may happen.
There was a tunnel, but not ours. Things looked different. The smell, oh, such a bad smell. And then, no.
What happened next, Lenny?
At the end of the tunnel, I entered a room. Oh, my head was in pain. So much pain.
Describe that room for me.
I don't want to go back. I don't want to remember.
Describe that room. Now.
It's so large. The walls are strange, with shapes I've never seen, and there's a glow everywhere. And in the center,
What is at the center of the room?
no,
What did you see?
my head is pounding.
Think. Think. Remember.
No.
Hawthorne, use that.
You must remember, Lenny, for our sakes. What did you see in the room?
Keep going. Guessing that's Hanwell.
Off the recorder until he's ready to speak again.
Damn. Yeah. Stupid Hawthorne. And it sounds like also Hanwell was also kind of scummy. If they want to know what's in the room, just go in the room yourself. Like, why? What the crap, dude? Instead of torturing patients, just go in the room yourself. Scumbags. I don't know if there's anything more. Can't open any of these drawers. We've got what was already there. Can't get to those from here. What if I... this again? Yeah, I can't get to them close enough. Get close enough to them, I should say. So... okay, so we got... play Hawthorne's reel and explore the director's office. Okay. The topics. My condition, why the shutdown. Bertrand's symbol, we still don't know. Abuse of patience. And finding in tunnels, whatever they found down there, yeah. We're working on this. One of our tasks is to drain the septic tank. That should open up those tunnels so we can see what they found down there. It's like another way around. Hawthorne, and then items, and the film school, yeah. Okay, I guess we're done in here for now, at least. Okay, we want to play the film reel. We want to go over here. Back this way again. Wait. Actually, I think going through this will be faster. Closer to the therapy room, I think. Therapy room, I think, is right here. Yeah, here we go. No, I forgot. This doesn't have... Rebecca. It wasn't Robin. Rebecca was the pregnant woman. Hodgson was actually Bertrand's cellmate. No, I'm wrong. It's Lenny Hodgson. Yeah, so LH is Lenny. Anyway. Alright, let's watch this reel. Oh, the grate down by the... this is the, what do you call it? The boiler room. Bro, what? Just locked him in there? Really?
Careful, the artifact.
The artifact? They actually uncover some ancient artifact type of thing or something? That's not... okay. Interesting. Retrieve an item in the basement. I don't... well, we have a key ring. Maybe we've got a key to that? I don't think so, though. We could try. I know where that is. How to get there. I don't know if we're going to be able to do anything with it right now or not. We can try. pause just for a second here. Make sure I don't have... Okay, that's fine. Just double checking. Okay. Okay, we'll proceed this way. This way. So we've been here before. We did not go down below, though. Let me save this, just since we made a bit of progress today. Someone, presumably a patient, had been drowned there for reasons too disturbing to ponder. Can I... No, okay, we're not gonna even try a queue there. So this must be something we do later. So it doesn't look like we have a key for that right now. Yeah, so for reference, down here, we were here before. Over here is a door we're trying to open. In order to open it, we need this liquid level, water level basically, to be dropped to 0. To do that, we turned off different valves. We have this one greenhouse. I haven't been to the greenhouse yet, I don't think. We need a valve in the greenhouse though, in order to have that door, have all the pressure relieved off of it, and then we'll be able to proceed. Okay, so let's go back up. This time we'll go to Hawthorne's office, which is going to be up the stairs twice. Well, I guess 4 times. I mean 2 stories is what I meant. Okay, then Hawthorne's is down over this way. Museum, but the next one, or not Hawthorne, Hanwell, I mean. Okay. 2 a.m. Oh, in Hanwell's office is 2 a.m.? Oh. At last, I found myself at the heart of the Institute, the director's office. Was I going to find the inside the answers I was seeking? Switch didn't work. Okay, we got this. The director seemed to have a captivating collection of art. An elegant urn, which hopefully didn't contain any sort of cremated remains. Striking paintings decorated the wall of his office. Yes, that was Dr. Hanwell. May have been the painting of a renowned artist, but it felt like a sadistic act of torture. All these drawers were shut tight. Nothing here for me. Nothing there at the desk either, it looks like, for right now at least. Continue this way. Okay, now we can try. Alright, let's try here. Old pen's of no use to me. Ambrose, I must hastily write this letter to you. It's an unexpected turn of events may have hampered the long-awaited resolution of our work. The book you recommended did indeed provide the means to understanding those primordial arrangements. Ambrose, we unlocked it. What an extraordinary document. So precise. What seems to be inside, I can't elaborate further, and couldn't even if I tried my best. but I'm penning extensive notes for posterity. We must act quickly. There is a plan in motion, so to speak. It's far from the scholarly treatment this immeasurably overdue encounter deserves, but circumstances are acting against us. We need visual information that few human beings are able to provide. However, as you rightfully said yourself, Providence is on our side. Ow. And it cuts off. Interesting. Okay. Random old book covered in dust. Nothing. They looked like ordinary annotations. Okay. So that's it for there. Let's look at these drawers first. Continue on top. Seemed like a fine and expensive ink bottle. The director of the institute seemed to like handwriting. Hanwell Mental Institution 3. Visions of Walter Hanwell. The Hanwell Mental Institution was founded by Dr. Walter Hanwell, whose remarkable knowledge in the field of mental health care shaped the philosophy and forward-thinking nature of the establishment. As a young and promising general surgeon, he became fascinated with how mental illness worked and firmly pursued his goal of understanding the intricacies of insanity. Dr. Hanwell actively encouraged colleagues and contemporaries in their studies of mental pathologies, earning him the reputation of benefactor of the insane. His strong legacy in the subjects of psychology and medicine permeates every room in the institute. Dr. Hanwell was also known for his open mind when it came to application of experimental psychiatry, surgery, and more enigmatic forms of alternative medicine. One of Hanwell's greatest contributions to the field was the creation of the Straba, an ingenious contraption for probing brain tumors, which is discussed later in this article. While this wondrous machine showed promise, it was developed too late for its time. He invented the Straba just before the dawn of a new technological era, in which proliferation of the far less intrusive magnetic resonance imaging used for the detection of brain tumors pushed it all too quickly into obsolescence. Walter Hanwell's approach to mental health care was not without its share of controversy, however. He was known for adopting mindsets strongly focused on achieving fast results, disregarding established ethical standards in the process. One example of this was his blithe attitude toward conducting experiments on live animals, a practice already rejected among his peers. An anecdote to the annals of Hanwell Mental Institute history describes a shipment of foul-smelling rats transported to the premises for this gruesome purpose. In later years, Dr. Hanwell's interest shifted toward more holistic, perhaps even spiritual methods for uncovering the secrets of the mind. Is this one? Yeah. So, top. Bunch of pencils scattered in the drawer. So that's it. Okay. We prepared to delve deeper into the tunnel. Ellis had a few words with the security staff, playing the bad cop as usual and warning them about patients often going missing, while I returned them to their cells. Afterwards, as things went quiet, we grabbed a lantern each and scouted out the regions beyond the crevice. The smell was nearly unbearable as we traversed the tunnels. I could recognize the handiwork of our motley crew in carving out the walls, but suddenly the shape, or rather texture, of the tunnel began to change. It was still man-made, dare I say, but yet different. Clearly the result of more crude tools. The rocks had developed a shiny, slippery surface massaged by the history of who knows how many countless centuries? Millennia? As we stepped forward, we noticed curious patterns on the stone walls, and also objects such as pots, effigies, and other fragments scattered on the ground, which were covered by a layer of spongy moss. Somehow, a whole ecosystem had survived within these underground, prehistoric walls. I pondered the deeper secrets that could be concealed within the bowels of this towering cliff. When I grabbed one of the items on the floor, my eyes were dazzled by a craftsmanship unlike anything I've seen in my life, not even in specialized publications or museums. It felt strangely alien, with hints of human crafting, yet at the same time it was not quite human. When I showed a weird sculpture to Ellis, he seemed more excited than I expected and urged me to move forward. We resolved to move these fascinating objects to a location where we could properly research them. We both agreed that the third floor of the hospital, currently in disuse, would be a suitable spot. Needless to say, there was a mutual agreement to keep this find from the rest of the staff. The continued investigation of these newfound underground tunnels are far more important than the remodeling of the building. Ellis warned me about expenses and such, but I dismissed such mundane considerations. Okay, give me just 1 second here, or 1 minute here. I'm just gonna go get something to drink. I'll be right back. I have returned. A little bit. Okay. Words aren't enough to convey my excitement. My hands are shaking with adrenaline as I transcribe this account. What we found at the end of that tunnel, it is beyond our comprehension. An ultimate glorious secret right here beneath us. Ellis, impetuous as he is, motioned for us to go in, but I caught a glimpse of his presence, which was enough to paralyze my body. Mind? For what seemed like an eternity. Yet a fleeting moment must have passed. Excuse me. Had a little bit of saliva go down my lung pipe. Hang on one sec. My trachea down into my lungs. Sorry. Okay, let's try it again. Yet a fleeting moment must have passed as I grabbed Ellis's arm and ordered him to stop. We cannot go in. Our rational minds wouldn't be able to stand it. The same patients from Group E as before are the key to making progress. It's nothing short of a miracle that our financial woes prompted us to resort to using our own patients to conduct the work, rather than a professional construction crew. Patients have no idea what we found, and even if they spoke out, who would believe them? Tunnels? Weird smells? Strange artifacts? An idea is forming in my head. I'm sure Ellis will agree. It turns out their fears are more useful than we thought. They've helped us come closer to the entity. I've no other words to describe him now. No rational mind can withstand his sight. After all, what do we know about reality? It's all merely electric impulses traversing our neurons. But if an alien being operates between or beyond the limits of our comprehension, those impulses would fry our brains, unless our minds aren't operating correctly to begin with. They are indeed able to visualize something we couldn't possibly process with our sane minds. The fear they experience when they enter that chamber is evidently unbearable. According to their own testimonies, even worse than long-standing fears from their own past. Yet something sticks in their damaged brains. We're unable to recover that information unless we somehow reproduce the same emotional conditions as those the patients had upon entering the chamber. So far, we've been able to recover one piece of knowledge from each one by stimulating them to experience their past fears using various methods. If we put everything together, then maybe? An unexpected turn of events. All patients presented to the entity have developed an anomaly. Something physical has changed in them. As far as we can tell, they're all developing brain tumors. Why this is happening, we can only guess. The evidence is unquestionable. Is it that even their damaged minds can't withstand the glorious sight of the being underneath? Or is there a deeper meaning behind this alteration in their physiognomies? We have no choice but to further investigate these tumors. Yet, we can't do it alone. The extracted tissues must be subject to standard procedures and thus thoroughly analyzed by our pathologists. For obvious reasons, the source and nature of the masses can't be disclosed. We can't just drop them on their tables either, as questions would be asked. It is a blessing as it is, it's a blessing as it is, that the stava is working properly and leaves no scar. But we can't push our luck. Avisbacher is growing suspicious. We toyed around with the idea of firing her, but that might draw attention that we can't afford right now. Ellis had the brilliant idea of stimulating tumor growth in the same rodents already assigned to oncology. It's another fortunate coincidence that they're genetically similar enough to humans. Soon they will be studied and we'll get the information we desperately need. Ellis will take note of the identification tag. Watch the team closely. We established that for a tumor to manifest, one must remain in his presence for a certain period of time. Still, I asked Ellis to subject me to a brain biopsy after my fleeting glimpse of those unfathomable shapes during our first time in that tunnel, just to be sure I'm safe. Something isn't right. The patients, they're acting differently. It's difficult to pinpoint in what manner. They simply don't feel the same. Last night, H was found lost in the basement, and we didn't take him there. Also, L is known to experience absence seizures, but today I observed him in the yard and he spent many hours just staring at the ground below him. They act as if, no, that can't be. Why would they? We must do something, and soon. Amos Bacher is bound to notice. I'll have Ellis recommend shock therapy in the case of L. We risk an uproar, but there's no other option. My worst fears have been confirmed. There's very possibly something wrong inside me. Yet if that was the case, was there any solution at my disposal? The first step was to confirm the tumor was real. Oh, right, and that's those two drawers, which I did already. Impressive desk occupied a large section of the room. So that's the desk in general. Not anything really on it on this side, so I guess that's fine. We're not doing anything with it. Cozy coffee table decorated the corner of the office. Decoration made of marble crowned the shelf. I couldn't make out what these jars were filled with, or why they were in this office in the first place. The human mind. Okay. A large collection of books, mostly focused on the topics of surgery and psychiatry. A tall ladder used for researching the books in the upper shelves of this private library. The director seemed to keep his belongings neat and organized. The director appeared to have an exceptional track record in his field. The elegant fireplace was a neat match for the style of the room. Yeah, so that's Hanwell. It seemed the director was quite picky about the decor in his office. Okay. Seems like that's it in here. Okay, so what are our new... Retrieve the item in the basement. Get a tissue sample of tumor. And perform biopsy. Damn. Okay. Memory. There's Rebecca, the pregnant lady. Pregnant patient. Brain tumor patient's fears. operating room is down at the end. That's right. So through here, here, and then I think this one over on the one on the right, I think, is the one that has the device we can use. Maybe not. Maybe it's the other one. Oh, maybe. No. It's the other one. I think it's this one that has. Oh, no. This one. This is the one. Actually, I'm having I think we still need to use that, but I'm having a thought. There was a mention in the notes by Hanwell of a rat, and there was a dead rat in the laboratory where Dr. Miller is right now. And he is no longer at his station here. Does make me wonder. But, okay, let's go over here. Dr. Miller is no longer working in the laboratory. Where'd he gone? Where'd he go? I don't know. Yeah, here, there's a dead rat. No, this item wouldn't help me open the cage. Yeah, let's see. Wait, can I use this maybe to burn some of the cage away? And then what do I use to remove it? Now I can't do anything with this at all. What if I need to come back or something? Because I can't. Obviously, grabbing what's currently burning from acid is probably a bad idea, but I can't do anything else here. So I guess, yeah, I probably want to wait. Okay, so we'll come back to this in a bit. Because I was gonna try to get a biopsy, use from the rat, and then use it with a glass slide here. But I guess not right now. Okay. So do we do ourselves then in the chair? Since that we have to wait on the rat for, I guess. It's not the first room. The second. Okay, just in case this kills us. Game over. Let's save it here. Okay. Alright, let's... Garbage all around the bed didn't look very hygienic. We have to go around the other side to use it like this. And now, wait, did I go too far? Oh, maybe not. Wait, is it this? Oh, is it not this one? What if it's the one across the way? Yeah, here's another operating room. Must be this one. Yeah, this is the one where I can actually get in the chair. I mean, it looked like I could get in the chair. They had, yeah, this symbol made it look like I could, yeah. Button didn't respond. Seemed like the machine was unpowered. How do I power it? That goes down into that grate down there. Where does that come out? We're on the second floor. I'd say we could try the first floor, but I don't know if we have access to this part. The first floor. I guess we might. Let me think. Okay, that's too hard how to read. Let me look at the map here. Okay, operating rooms. So it is this hall for sure. So if we now back down the stairs. Weird. I thought I'd clicked. I guess I moved too much before clicking. Okay. So in order to get the same thing over here, gonna want to was this room, right? So the library, maybe? Maybe. I don't remember cables hanging around the library, though. Maybe I just didn't think much of them at the time or something. Let's see. What about on the floor there? So up, potentially here. Yeah, we'll be this side. So the cable doesn't come out this way, so I don't know how I would plug it in or get power to it otherwise. The rest of the chandelier was still firmly secured. Is the light that's kind of crooked? No, I don't see a way to look at it. So at a minimum, we're too close. I don't think so yet. So nothing with that either. Let me think. Retrieve the item in the basement. This under the locked grate. Tissue sample of a tumor. Perform a biopsy. But after using the hydrochloric acid, I no longer can grab anything from there. So yeah, nothing here. Hmm. Yeah, now we're too far over, I think. Let's see. Goes underneath. How? What if there's a power switch, like outside the door or something that makes it accessible? Is there anything indicating like a power control or something somewhere? Hydrotherapy, but that's it's water, so it's not gonna be power. Cannot go via the office. Where is... Simply amazing lamp still emitted such a powerful light. There's obviously some power. Just not this is power. This is not powered on, I guess. There's no sample in it. Sample of. This turns power on. There we go. I mean, we might have killed ourselves, like I said, but I saved it earlier, but we'll see. It's supposed to go through behind your eyeball and get biopsy from your brain and stuff. Oh, we're seeing some stuff, kinda. Some flashes of things. After the biopsy, the compartment on the back of the machine was filled with plasma, my own. Clean it first, hang on. Sync, does this work? Carefully, I've cleaned the syringe as best I could. Syringe is now holding a somewhat sticky fluid with a red tinge. I was repulsed to realize this had come from inside my head. That. Insert the glass slide of the microscope. Nothing of note. Something was missing, so I took the glass slide again. Something was missing. What am I missing? Hang on. What are my items? Glass slide with tissue. Yeah, I can't do that? Insert the glass slide in the microscope. There we go. Something was missing, so I took the glass slide again. Something was missing. Still? I wonder if order of like a specific order of stuff. Maybe now I go to the mouse. I don't know. Seems wrong though. Hey, Silhouette, welcome. Monmouth was here earlier, and then my chat cleared from my Twitch chat cleared out apparently. Doesn't show up now, so now I don't know. I haven't seen a response from him in a bit, so maybe he took. I had to take off. So we got a biopsy. We took our own biopsy basically on the crazy machine the doctor has that drills in behind your eye to get potentially a tumor or something from you. So now this. No, still can't. Okay, what am I missing? I've got glass slide with tissue. Had a sample for my brain biopsy, but apparently I can't. When I try to use it on the microscope, it says there's something missing. I don't know what's missing. Let's see. Actually, the lab would be the place probably to get something to cover the slide or something. Right? Normally when you have a slide, something on it, you put a glass piece on top, right? To hold the thing. kind of squish it down and then you can look at the microscope. So I need that piece of glass or something, I think, right? But I don't remember ever seeing something like that I can use with a slide. It'd take me forever if I had to search all these again. Oh, I already read that. So that's not what I want. I don't want to read a letter. I'm looking for... the bottom drawer is missing. Okay, so back. Check down here. Only the left side has drawers, though. No. Definitely not there. Nothing here. I'd say those little, like, petri dishes potentially... Well, those still wouldn't work. So never mind. I'd say potentially they'd work, but they're all dirty, but I don't think they'd work anyway. Because what would you, the little slide and this giant petri dish on top? That doesn't make sense. That's blood, I assume. Some kind of plasma from patients or something. See, actually, there aren't drawers here, are there? Not that I can examine. Oh. No, I don't remember if I saw anything to go on top of the slide. If so, where that would have been. Okay. Bunsen burner and a flask. A couple small Bunsen burners and some vials. Probably doesn't have any running water. Yeah, no. Okay. Anything on top? No. Locked. Locked. Jammed. Same difference, basically. You cannot get into it. It's basically the same thing. No, not there. So even if I could grab these, they would interfere. You wouldn't be able to. The red, I mean. Red, brown, whatever. No, none of these. don't know. I don't know what else I'm missing. Maybe it's actually in the operating room and I just didn't see it. Okay, so back here. There's the microscope here. So put that there. Now, what? I tried looking here, and I get this, and it says, like, I need something else or whatever. See, it looks to me like that's a tumor. Or a growth or something, right? Something was missing, so I took the glass slide again. Yeah. Coffee mugs? No. Ancient Greek drawing. These are vials, so those will not work. Right over here. Yellow papers. Petri dishes, but I don't see any glass slide covers. No? Okay. Where am I gonna get? Dark stains on the interior of the walls, broken wardrobe. Didn't want to know what the source of the stains was. What is missing? I don't know what's missing. Hmm. Let's see. Hang on. Let me see. We're at this, I think. Oh, my bad. Thanks. This. Okay. Oh. There's a... Okay, where the rats are, there is... Let's see, this is... You saw it this way. Where the rats are... No, I want the other way. There are... No, I went the wrong way. I did go the wrong way. I wanted the other. My bad. Anyway, where the rats are, there are drawers underneath them. So I guess that's... Don't know. I use hydrochloric acid. I think just for the hydrochloric acid, I think enough time needs to pass by or something. Because I used it, but like I can't do anything with it once I've used that on it. So if I go over here... This one, see how I've got this where I used it, but I can't do anything with it. So I guess I want this drawer. Oh, that's what happened. The acid dribbled down here and gave me... There seemed to be a metal tag next to the rat with some kind of label on it. TPT 102. TPT 102. All right. All right. TPT 102. Or that's some achievement, I guess. Let me write that down so I don't forget it. Okay, TPT 102. Now, I need me. Dr. Ellis Hawthorne was a strict authority figure at the Institute, acknowledged as Dr. Hanwell's right arm. Dr. Hawthorne had frequent quarrels with Dr. Abelsbacher, the implications of which were still unclear to me. Hanwell Mental Institute had been named as such after its founder, Walter Hanwell, a reserved man who had a unique vision for his hospital. No, still... I was going to look at Dr. Hanwell himself. Somebody said something about... Go back to Hanwell's office again. He said something about tumors, I think. Was he or Hawthorne? I think it was Hanwell. Said something about the tumors. Let me look again. Is it here? Okay. Okay, fascinating objects, blah, 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 blah. Same patients before. Able to visualize something. Where does he say it? There we go. I think the middle here. An unexpected turn of events, all patients presented to the entity have developed an anomaly. Something physical has changed in them. As far as we can tell, they're all developing brain tumors. Why this is happening, we can only guess, but the evidence is unquestionable. We have no choice but to further investigate these tumors. Can't just drop them on the desks of the doctors to have them, or the lab technicians to have them look at them. Stimulating tumor growth in the same rodents. We didn't find anything in the lab. They're trying to keep it kind of a secret, or somewhat of a secret. So where... Sure. Also found lost in the basement. Risk an uproar, but no other option. Where's my... Do I have to... There it is. I was like, where's my hand to go out of that area? Okay, so... They're trying to keep it a secret, but it's not in their offices. I've been in Hanwell's and Hawthorne's offices. There's nothing there. It's not in the operating room. It's not in the laboratory. I'd say maybe in the morgue, but we'd have to find a body. Plus, we found... Well, in the laboratory, we found the tag. Where does the tag go? What are our options here? Tag could go to the morgue, but from the lab, morgue doesn't make sense. Could it be the museum? We found a bunch of weird stuff in the museum. That is between Hanwell's office and the morgue. No, well, sorry, Hanwell's office and the laboratory. So it could be kind of a... We study it here and bring it over and we hide it here. But Hanwell can conveniently... That doesn't make sense, does it? Let me take a look. There were some shelves or something in here. We were not able to... Well, we were able to look at, but we didn't really have anything notable on them. These look like a bunch of petri dishes. Are there samples there or something? Are those ears? Okay, so not ears, probably. We're looking for tumor biopsies. Jar with something odd inside. They do have, yeah, they have like all the ears and stuff in here. Oh, here we go. TP 102. TPT 102, yeah. Oh, hang on. I can use these, right? Yeah. Now, tweezers. Those. Best prepare a slide and sample could be placed at first. But I literally have a slide. Maybe I have to put the slide down below first. Looks like I have a... Yeah, I have the thing there. Okay, now here. Carefully took a tissue sample, place it on the glass slide. Put that back, grab this. Last, I had both samples ready to compare. So we know the rat, since it wasn't needed anywhere else, left the tweezers in the exhibit. We know the rat has a tumor because they're trying to duplicate the tumors in the rats. So now we compare our sample with that one. Oh, there's Rebecca again. She was freaking out at the fountain. And then... Oh. Damn. her own kid, her own baby growing in the womb. That's bad. That's really bad. Maybe that's why that note had talked about she had needed to get a ceasing of the birth, let's say. Said that should have happened. So I guess now we go back to the operating room. Let's try this again. So here, we'll use that. Insert the glass slide. Now let's look at it again. Okay, so we'll compare. I don't know which ones will be first. One of them is the rat and one of them is us. Okay, there's the rat, I think. It's on the left side. And there's us on the right side. We've got the same thing. So we both have tumors. I couldn't believe it. I'd confirmed what I feared the most. Nested deep inside my brain was an unexplainable tumor, the source of my visions and possibly the end of my sanity. Seems like we took the news well. Not like it's an unreasonable response, though, to be fair. I'd probably freak out also if... Oh, really? Damn, bro. That was not clean. That was messed up. Experienced every flashback. Okay. And spent 7 hours in the asylum. So we got all the flashbacks, apparently. I just got an achievement for that, so. Oh, that was not pretty. Oh, that's messed up. Okay. It's my tasks now. Yeah. I still have to drain the septic tank. Still need to find the greenhouse, is where the last thing is, wherever the greenhouse is. I have to still get the item from the basement. And I don't know how to unlock that. Yeah. Gross, right? Yeah, because she was like eating it. It's like, oh. So I have to drain the septic tank, so I need the greenhouse for the final valve, or to put the valve handle, so I could shut that off, and then we can go through the door in the tunnel in the basement. I need to retrieve an item in the basement, but there's currently what do you call it? There's currently like a grate over the top of a hole, and that's locked. And last time I was there, at least, we could not try to use the key or anything on it. The key ring, I should say. So we don't have a key for it or anything, so we're not entering from there. So my guess is we're going to open that door in the short tunnel in the sewer. We're going to open that door, go through, and we'll eventually get, whether it's right away or after a while, we'll at some point get to that room where the person was underneath. Because that room is probably where the entity was that everybody had been, all the patients have been exposed to, and so ended up getting tumors from. So the only thing I can do right now, I think, is speak with Lenny, if I can find him, that is, of course. Oh, this is back. Whoops, my bad. Back out. And this is room B from here, so we're going to go this way. At least I think this is the way that Lenny would be. No, I went the wrong way again. Dang it. Keep thinking B is on the other side from where it is, but I actually want to go this way. whatever. Anyway. Lenny was, well, last time we saw Lenny, actually, he was in front of Bertrand's cell. So he was down more on level 1 and down over toward where Bruno's office is. But in general terms, he was cleaning and his cart had blocked off the way to floor 3. So if he's proceeded with cleaning, yeah, he might be up here. Or maybe not. No wonder there were so many leaves here with such strong wind punishing this section of the building. Boarded and claustrophobic. I haven't even been here yet. This is all stuff that was not accessible before. So we're here. Yeah. I don't know that we're going to be able to see much on this floor. It's all boarded up and stuff. We might not be able to do anything with floor 3, really, in general. Border, yeah, that's what we just read. Okay. This way. Oh, we can go down the hall or the doors. There's Lanny. Okay, hang on. We want to talk to him, but let me see if I can do a little more exploration first. Wondered where Lenny was. I'd important match discussed with before proceed further. Okay. So, well, it's basically the game saying, no, you don't get to explore right now. And he's there, yeah. Theater must have been charming in its old days. Now it was pitiful and dirty. That may be why Lenny is here. He was going to clean it, but for now he's resting or something. Maybe he's had a vision, kind of like me, and he's freaking out about it some or something. Maybe. Let's see. Once classy chandelier was now a sorry feature of the theater. He's envisioning a play going on. Interesting. He's clearly seeing stuff. Whether it's the same type of stuff we saw before or not, I don't know. We'll go the other way. The other side. Where we first were. See if we can... Yeah. See if there's anything on the other side first. That's gonna be the same? Yeah. Okay. Nothing with the windows. Let's get the chandelier again. Okay, yeah, so basically just talk to Lenny. And what we already saw. Oh, what's this? Patients used to be encouraged to participate in improvised plays. Art is good for the mind, the nurses said. The ceiling had collapsed, rendering a good chunk of the theater useless. All right, Lenny, hi.
Lenny, what are you doing here?
I'm watching the show.
Show? What? Oh.
Why don't you sit with me and we can watch it together? It's very entertaining.
Lenny, please, you must listen to me. I have the tumor. I think you have it too, and Bertrand. We all do. Everyone in Group E.
I don't want to talk about that now.
But Lenny...
Maybe it's good if we don't remember. If I was in pain, I wouldn't want to remember. I'd prefer to be happy, like I am now.
My visions are getting worse. You will have them too.
Why are you doing this?
Because I need to know, Leonard. I can't afford to lose my mind again. I want to remain in control.
Oh. Oh. This next part is fun.
See you around, Lenny.
Yeah. I mean, when you get traumatized hard like that, what do you expect the response to be, right? Sometimes it's just too much. Makes sense. Okay. That's where we'll save this today. We're getting decently far along. We're, what, 3 a.m. now? So 3 to 4 a.m.? I mean, I don't know what we still have to do in the game, how long it goes. But even if maybe we're here, I don't think we'd probably be here that long. Things seem to be going along at a decent pace. But if we're here, we started at 8 p.m. the night before. So even if we go all the way to 8 p.m. again, then that means we're still not too far from being halfway. I don't think it'll go that long. It might go until something like noon, maybe. It's not going to go until 8 p.m., I wouldn't think. Too much stuff to happen in too little time. So, all right. Well, thanks for joining me, Silhouette. Appreciate it. And Monmouth earlier, and anybody else who joined me tonight, whom I did not ban for spamming me. Appreciate the support. Okay, so about 11 and a half hours, and we will do 7th Guest again. So if you're around for that, that'll be great. I'll talk to you then. If not, I will see you next time you're able to join. And tomorrow at the same time, of course, we'll be doing more Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. So, take care of yourselves. Until next time. Peace.
Poor spider.
This freaking boy. Oh, that's so sad.